Hey guys, it's David from Red Wagon Dioramas. Thought I'd do a short little video today, just kind of introducing the idea and the topic of making custom Black Series figures for your Star Wars collection. This video is just a little intro on what the process is and kind of how to get started and some resources that are out there. Just for example, I'll show you a couple of the customs that I've done, and I don't do a lot of customs, but I've done a few. I have Taun We here. This is, obviously from Attack of the Clones. Hasbro has not made, one of these Kaminoans, is that how you pronounce it? So I decided to make one. I saw the torso and the head cast was available. I think this was from Two Sons casting. Anyway, so I bought that, and then I was inspired because I saw a Jack Skellington figure at Walgreens, from the Nightmare Before Christmas. And those figures had really long arms and legs, so kind of gave me the inspiration. Hey, I can make a real tall Taun We character out of those body parts, and that's what I did. Another custom I'd worked on in the past was Lobot. He's not quite finished. I got intimidated with the painting the head here. I kind of set him aside. I got to pick him up and finish him off. But he again was, let's see, Lando. Yeah, the Empire Strikes Back Lando, legs, arms, and then the torso and the head were, I think, from Outer Rim Traders. Maybe Two Sons, I can't remember. I had worked on an Ula. This is a Marvel Legends body. I think it might have been Spider-Gwen or one of those, female bodies with a cast head. I'm going to repaint this and finish it differently. I wasn't happy with the color, the way it came out. But anyway, right here in front of me, I have a bunch of parts that are, that I purchased recently. So these are some of the customs I want to do in the future. Whether I'll actually get to them and when I'll get to them remains to be seen. It seems like I tend to start these projects and never quite finish them through. But there's so much out there that just looks cool that I want to add to my collection. So, just recently for May the 4th, a couple of the customizing websites had sales on their website. So, 10% off or 20% off or whatever. So I picked up a bunch of things here. First from Rob at Scoundrel Stock, I picked up a couple of his little droid kits. These are, 3D printed. This is Toto 360. I didn't get him I didn't get the deluxe Cad Bane, so this is one way to add him to my collection. We also, I've got the medical droid here from Kamino. I think it's like AZ6 or something. And so I thought, get this droid, put it with Taun We, do a cool Clone Wars setup, especially with the Bad Batch coming now. I thought it'd be cool to maybe do a display with those guys. Here's a really cool head cast from Scoundrel Stock. This is Fat Bib Fortuna. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet, but obviously I want to, I got to get a body, then maybe some soft goods, and then I've got a 3D printed throne I got from another guy too. So at some point I'm going to get Fat Bib on the throne there, and that's going to be really cool. Hopefully I get it out before Hasbro releases them, right? Then let's see what else. I got an awesome squid head sculpt here from Scoundrel Stock. Couple other heads. I've got his Mithril head from the first episode of Mandalorian, and then as a bonus he threw in a the Desert Boba Fett head sculpt. So I don't have plans to make that figure right now, but maybe this will inspire me to try. Outer Rim Traders, another great vendor, another great website. So I got the Hammerhead castings. So these are all resin cast pieces, not printed. So you end up getting some rough areas here and there, and sometimes you have to do a little bit of sanding down and cleaning them up more than the resin prints. But he can make them, I think, pretty economically, and he has a really big selection of pieces on his site. So I recommend you check them out. Here's the lizard for Thrawn. What is it? The Salamari, I think it's called. And I got a nice 9 head, which I'm going to put on this Rose Tico body. A lot of people have made this custom, repaint the body, put the head sculpt on there. And there's another character that Hasbro hasn't made yet. Similar, I got the Spy here from Tatooine, from Mos Eisley. So I'm going to put his head on a Death Star trooper body and put a nice black cloak on him, and that'll be another one for my display. Let's see what else I pick up. I picked up a Temple Guard helmet. Might put him on an extra Darth Revan body I have. Got the owl that goes with Ahsoka, with his little tail here. what is that? That's the Morial. I don't know the pronunciation. Got a cool loth cat here. That one was sculpted by one of the guys in the Facebook group. Oh, let's see, you can also get weapons. So, you can get some 3D printed weapons, some awesome pieces that, I think this one's from John Walker Customs. These are some 3D printed blasters. I forget the names. But again, these are weapons that Hasbro hasn't offered yet in the line. So if you want something like this, you can custom print them. I do not have a 3D printer, so I'm ordering these, paying other guys to print them out and ship them to me. So it's a little more pricey, but I just haven't jumped into the 3D printing game yet. Here's a couple blasters also from Scoundrel stock for the new Boba Fett. What else? I got, some more stuff from John Walker Customs. This is baby Grogu that he had early on before the Grogu toys came out. Old classic Boba Fett blaster. Backpack. Clones, head cast here. Basically, if you're new to all this, this is probably really intimidating. I know I was really intimidated when I saw guys making customs and I had no clue what they were doing or how it worked. Find a group online, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or whatever, where you can connect with other guys who are customizing, and usually the guys in this hobby are really happy to share tips and techniques and stuff. So I've gotten the most out of a Facebook group called Star Wars the 112 Galaxy. The guys in there are great. That's where I learned everything I've known so far about the hobby, including my dioramas too. So I definitely promote that specific group. Great people in there, great place to learn, share your creations, get inspired. There's all, like I said, Instagram's full of customs figures. Lots of great people on there too, sharing their work. Yeah, if you're like me and you got a little intimidated by the thought of making an action figure, what could I say? I guess I would say just try it. Try something easy. This might be one of the easiest ones here. Get a Rose Tico figure. Get a head cast that you can put on there, and all you're gonna need to attach this, for example, is either some hot glue or some putty, and you can get in here so it still articulates. And then for paint, you just need a decent primer. I use a spray can primer, which the guys in the Facebook group have recommended, this Corax White by Citadel. And then acrylic paints, Citadel paints or Vallejo, or even simple craft paints will work really well for most of these custom figures. So whether, if you go online and you see customs, whether it's G.I. Joe or Marvel Legends or Star Wars or whatever else, the guys are using most of the same techniques. You'll hear about boiling and popping the joints, which is basically dismantling the figure. You'll hear about dremeling, which removing some of the plastic so when you repaint it, the paint doesn't rub off. You'll learn about head swaps, popping, part torsos, a little more complicated, painting techniques. Don't let the intimidation stop you from trying. I think Ula was my first try at it, and man, I just struggled with it. I didn't understand how everything worked, but you get there, you learn, you figure it out, you ask questions, you get help, and in the end, you have some cool customs that are unique and no one else has. So a couple differences between, for example, a resin cast and a 3D resin print. I find that the resin printers are putting out really good quality details. You don't get the print lines like you do with a filament printer, so it looks really great. You just got to make sure you wash it down good, clean it, and prime it well. Otherwise, I've had sometimes where the paint doesn't stick that well. It's just my experience. With cast pieces, they are softer, easier to, if you can shave it down or cut it or Dremel it a lot easier. The resin 3D prints are going to be much harder and more brittle. So if you go in to put it to Dremel that hole, you might end up chipping some of the resin away. So you got to be careful. With the cast pieces, they're going to be a lot more tolerable to the Dremel and an X-Acto knife or whatever. But you do get little leftover pieces and snots and things on the edges of the cast that you have to clean up and trim on some of these pieces. So it's kind of a trade-off. I think also the resin prints are generally a little more expensive, the 3D prints, compared to the cast pieces. You'll find, I think I paid like $15 from Rob for this, bib head, and most of these heads from Outer Rim are like $8. So it's just different technology, different methods of producing them, but in the end you're gonna clean them up and paint them, and it's all going to go together in a very similar way as far as putting your custom figure together. Some of the essential tools you need: you'll need a Dremel for routing out holes in the heads. Like these 3D printed heads I have for the Bith Band guys here, Finger and Dan. This was a resin print head, like Good Fortuna here, from my friend Nick at Thank the Maker Creations. Go check out his page. But he sent these to me, and I had to Dremel out the hole, and it did chip it a little bit because it's really hard plastic once these things are cured. But then I just primed them up with the the Corax white primer here, and painted them with multiple layers of acrylic paints, and it came out really well. So, and then as far as the figures, this was a Han Solo, the young Solo figure, the guy with the brown jacket, and I boiled and popped all the joints, took everything down, popped the pegs out of the knees, everything. Ended up dremeling it all down so to try to minimize the paint rub, and then repainted everything. And I did 5 of them. I know you only got 2 here, but I have all 5. The instruments, by the way, are from the bust-ups figures that Gentle Giant did. Found those on eBay. Also Nick's recommendation. What else can I say about customizing? Yeah, so you need a Dremel, you'll need assortment of acrylic paints, you need a good primer, basic paint brushes. Doing faces and eyes especially is the most intimidating thing for me, and I'm still not there yet. I know it just practice makes perfect, right? And I just need to keep practicing. Anyway, that's a little intro to customizing figures. So if you're wondering how do I make a custom Black Series figure, number one piece of advice: join a group or follow the Instagram accounts of the guys who are doing it. Ask questions, learn, trial and error, do it yourself, figure it out. Eventually you'll get there. Start with something easy like a simple head swap or simple repaint of a body. Get a sense of how how the paints feel and how the figures are put together, how you can take them apart and put them together. And when you get into a little more complicated things, if you buy a head cast like this hammerhead head cast here, like honestly I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with it. If you look on the bottom, there's no hole here, there's no neck peg. My idea here is to take an extra Jar Jar Binks body because it's tall and he's got the kind of the wide feet there and the long arms, and I want to mount this hammerhead up here somewhere, but obviously I think that's going to be too tall, so I'm probably going to have to cut this neck down. And I'm not sure if I'll get another dumbbell or barbell joint in there, or if I'll somehow insert that into here. I really don't know what I'm going to do, but in the end I want to have a hammerhead figure for my for my display shelf. So how will I do it? I'm not sure. I'm going to ask the guys online who have done it how they've attached this, what kind of neck articulation they've done in the past. I know Outer Rim sells this with a torso cast piece and with arms and maybe feet too, as a full kit. I only bought the head because I just wanted to save a little bit of money, and I figured I could use the body here. But I'll play around with it and I'll figure it out, and that's part of the fun of being creative and making something your own. Some of these other pieces are gonna be pretty easy, like the Loth Cat. That's gonna be just a straight painting. There's no articulation here or anything. It's just a display piece. So I'll prime it up, and then I'll just get an assortment of colors of acrylic paints and start painting at it. Probably use some images from the Star Wars Rebels show to guide the colors and all that. But anyway, I hope that gives you guys an idea. If you're brand new to collecting and brand new to customizing, there's a lot of great customizing channels out here on YouTube. Lots of awesome work being done on Instagram and Facebook. So, if you found my video, thanks for watching this far. I hope this gave you some courage to step out and try, gave you some ideas and kind of some of the basics of how you go about customizing. Again, I recommend these guys: Scoundrel Stock, Outer Rim Traders, Two Sons. Those guys are all reputable customizers themselves. So, buy with confidence. You get good products from them, and pick out something that doesn't look too difficult to do, and just go at it. any of the guys who do customs will tell you, you know, that they weren't good when they started out either. And that's how it is in anything. So I encourage everybody, give it a shot. You know, pick up a custom head cast or something, or, you know, if you got a 3D printer, try printing something out. Get some acrylic paints, watch a bunch of tutorial videos online, join the Facebook group that I'm in, the 112 Custom Galaxy, and give it a shot. You know, customizing action figures is basically, you start with inspiration, you reach out to people who have been doing it already, you know, buy some cast parts or pieces, 3D printed pieces or cast pieces, and then join a community where you can get encouragement and tips and tricks and get advice on how to do it, and then just go at it. You'll be amazed at what you can make. It's pretty cool when you end up with a figure that you know that is unique to your collection, and especially if it fills out a hole in your collection. Like when I had Bib Fortuna to add to my Jabba display, that was so essential for me, and I was so happy to get that and put it in my display. You know, when Hasbro comes out with Bib Fortuna, which they probably will, you know, maybe even next year with Return of the Jedi celebrating 40 years, maybe that's 2 years from now, then I'll replace it with the Hasbro one, probably, if it's better than mine. But until that time, I've got a Bib Fortuna on my shelf, and it's pretty cool. So again, thanks for watching, guys. If you made it this far into the video, I suspect that it's because you're interested in trying this out and you haven't done it much yet. Again, I encourage you, just go for it. You can do it. Reach out to me if you have any questions. Join those groups I mentioned. Follow people on Instagram. Just be creative. Make something cool. Make something awesome. And then show it off to others and be an inspiration for other people too. So appreciate all the support. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button for me. If you're new, please subscribe. And may the Force be with you. Bye-bye.